You should now. Yeah. Thank you for the warning. It's easy to forget sometimes to turn the thing. So I got all the cards right here. Let me see if I can mix them up a little bit. You can hear me now, correct? I want to make sure you can hear me. I think it's just you and I in here now. It says only one. I think I lost some people. We're going to go live in less than a minute. I'm getting these together for tonight's talk. Okay. You should be able to hear me now, correct? Yes. I hadn't turned on the mic box. When I get setting things up and talking, sometimes I forget a step. About to go live in just a few seconds. Let me go ahead and start TikTok. Let's go to live. Go live. Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Touching Turning the podcast. I'm your host, Sid Patrick. Thank you guys for joining me on TikTok as well. Tonight's discussion is going to be a lot about, we're going to still continue on mediumship. This is week 3 of mediumship conversations. Hey, Stephanie. This is week 3. And so tonight's discussion is a lot about ethics and a lot about the clairs. And so every week for the whole year, I have something new planned in metaphysics to talk about. These first 10 weeks are all on different mediumship topics. And since we're going to talk about the clairs and we're going to talk about clairvoyance, I brought the symbology cards that you can get through me. That's usually part of a class. Hey, Zeta. See, a lot of my cruises are with me tonight. Thank you for coming in. I know y'all getting excited. Hey, Joe, there's another cruiser. So tonight we're going to talk a lot about ethics and mediumship, and we're going to talk about clairs and how we use them. We're going to do a little bit of symbology, and I'll do I'll pull some symbology cards for people before we close tonight. But first, a few announcements. So this weekend before the cruise, I was going to do a gallery in Kenner, but I decided not to because I know Trenny had to leave abruptly a couple weeks ago, and she's got a whole bunch of people to catch up on before the cruise. And so I wanted to give her that time when she gets in to be able to finish catching up on the clients that she had to miss. And again, I want to thank everybody that sent her some love and her friends some love, because so far everything with the surgery has been a success. So it was a very major surgery. Hey, Kathy, it was a very big surgery, and so thank you for sending the love and the prayers and all the things that everyone had done. So, but I am seeing clients on Saturday. I think I have 1 or 2 more slots open. They are getting filled, and that's going to be live at my house in Kenner. You can message me on Messenger if you would like a spot. That's the only day this month that I'm reading in person. May schedule should be out. I think I thought I lost everybody. My whole screen went blank. But anyway, so I think I have maybe one reading after the cruise, other than there's one book. I think there's one other that's still open. Then it goes into May. And those are all on Google Meets if you can book it online. If you want to see me in person, you have to message me on Messenger. And once you message me on Messenger, then you can, get an appointment to see me live in New Orleans. Hey, Glenda. So I'm very excited about the cruise. I started gathering everything. Hey, Christy. The toys. I still got to go get some more things for the murder mystery. The murder mystery scavenger hunt that is scheduled for one of the days. I have to go pick up some more toys for that and costume props and stuff like that. So you still see me? I still see you. Oh, you should be able to see me. Can everybody still see me, or are you just hearing me? because there was something that popped up on my screen. So if you can't see me, please let me know. Anyway, so we leave Sunday. I think Trini's coming in. I haven't talked to her yet because I've been so busy here wrapping things up in my other hometown. I'm in Mississippi, and so I haven't really I haven't been able to reach. I don't know what day she's coming in, but I'm thinking she's going to come in tomorrow or Friday. Yes, thank you, Mark. Everyone is doing great. Thank you for joining us tonight. So anyway, so the Touch of Eternity Sense Healing Cruise takes off Sunday. We have lots of things planned, folks. And those of you who are coming, we did, I'm probably not going to bring the Aura camera because I think that'll interfere with the classes that we're given. And most of the people that's on the cruise and that's coming have had Aura photos. But what I'm going to do, if you signed up for classes, we're going to give you one free Aura photo in New Orleans. So that'll be some less luggage we have to cart and carry because I am bringing a lot of extra things on the cruise for the classes and for the tours that we're taking together so that we can have some fun. And I really want this to be a fun time. Hey Chris, you getting excited? When are you flying in? She's flying into New Orleans for the cruise. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, the only thing I'm not going to bring is the Aura camera because the people that most of us have booked have had Aura photos. And if anybody wants them, if you live out of town and nobody there, probably stop at my house, we're going to give you a free one if you want to come in and get an Aura photo. So we will give you a card or we'll know who you are, a list we'll have if you want to come in and get a free Aura photo. But I don't think I'm going to carry that camera on the cruise ship because I am carrying so much other stuff. I'm trying to bring the biomat when we teach healing. So therefore, people could lay on the hey bestie. So people can lay on the biomat during the healing classes and really get everything. Hey, I'm trying to read everybody's name that's coming in. TikTok's hard. Hey is that Maha? Hi Maha. So thanks for joining. But anyway, so keep pushing those hearts. Give me that penny. TikTok's gotten so tight. But anyway, and I haven't ever cashed anything in with them anyway, so it's no big deal. But tonight, so if you want to book a reading with me, I'm sure Trini might be taking some bookings if y'all want to reach out to her. And I'm also bringing stuff. If you're on the cruise, you can book an appointment with us on the cruise while we're on the cruise. So that's if you want one, that's possible too. So. Bring that because I will, people want some. I'll have my cards with me and I'll have my symbology. And we're going to be doing a mediumship gallery for everybody anyway. Well, for anybody that's taking the classes, we're going to be doing demonstrations of mediumship. There's going to be a lot of activities on the cruise ship. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, you coming in Friday? Great, Chris. That's cool. Please be aware, and I don't say beware, but be aware that it is Jazz Fest weekend when we come home. The city's going to be packed. It is best to find, if you can locate a parking spot out of the city and Uber in or go in because it's going to be packed with people. Oh yes, 3 days and 15 hours till we go. The countdown is on. I know, I'm getting excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So again, a couple things about the cruise, guys. When you get there, please come to the meet and greet on the first night so that we can see who's all there in our group. Because a lot of people are bringing friends with them and who are not involved in like the classes and things like that. That's fine. But have them come join the party. We didn't do the t-shirt. Not enough people sent me their sizes to really do the t-shirt thing. But we are going to meet. We're going to talk about the week's events. We're going to talk about different events that people can attend. You're going to meet the group, and then we're going to go out and drink. We all got the drink package. So yes, they have a bunch of music festivals in town. Yes. And the boat is going to be a fabulous time for us all. Like I said, we have a lot of fun things planned for everybody. A lot of cute little funny things, and it's going to be a really good time. But again, if you want to appoint with me on Saturday, I think I got 2 spots left. You can message me, and then I can get you in to see me at my home. Other than that, you can book Google Meet along with Google Meets. You can go to my website and you can purchase this. You can purchase your time on the site. Okay, you can actually purchase the time on the site. There is, and they're all 1 hour bookings. There's no 30-minute bookings. If you want a 30-minute booking, you have to message me. If you want to see me in person, you have to message me. Stacy is, even though we're still very close, I'm giving her some time to, get things together. And so I've taken over my phones again. I apologize, but I do check it like once a day for any text messages because I still get a lot of spam calls. So please text me on the phone number. And eventually that number might change. So always check my website before you call me or text me to make sure that things we're talking about redoing our phones. So if we do, I might just go back to 2 phones instead of 3. There's Stacy. Stacy's getting excited about the cruise. So, like I said, we're not bringing the Aura camera, but anybody that is taking the classes will be entitled to 1 free photo. If you're from out of town, on your way out, you can stop in. We will be home Sunday, all day Sunday when we get in. Y'all can stop there on Sunday, and we will gladly do a photo for you. And one of the reasons we're not bringing it is that there has been a problem with the printing. And so I don't know how the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth is going to manage with that. So I just figured it's best not to bring it and it time somebody up to. So they won't have a good time. They're going to miss out. So I think that's going to be the best thing to do. We'll just give everybody a free Aura photo and a free reading, of course, from me. So it will be a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I think getting it after the cruise is great because your energy should be sparked on that day. So that's a good thing. Okay. Any event, I just got back from Las Vegas last weekend. I had a wonderful time. I met some beautiful people who may be joining us here tonight. It is 6 o'clock in Vegas. I met some beautiful people. We had a beautiful psychic development class. I believe the way it looked, everybody had a wonderful time. I did a whole bunch of readings. I literally did nothing but read and teach all weekend. Didn't have a lot of personal time while I was in Vegas because we had a pretty decent sized class and everybody had a wonderful time. And I even taught them some extra numerology. So that was a lot of fun too. So they're excited for more classes. So I will be going back to Las Vegas to teach and read. I think the next time I go, it's just going to be for readings. And then the following time, I'll go back and teach another class. So, again, I think that's how we're going to work it. Anyway, so let's get on to tonight's topic. So tonight, we're going to talk a lot about, and not mediumship, and we're going to talk a lot about clairs and ethics. So I want to start with ethics. So one of the things I've been noticing a lot lately, and I'm right here on TikTok, so I'm going to call it out. Everybody wants to be a medium. Everybody wants to be a psychic. And everybody is. Everybody was born with that ability. Now, how much training or how much development all these people have had on TikTok, Facebook, on, YouTube, I don't know. You have to really go in and feel it out. Do you think, what they're saying is pertinent? Okay, I do believe that when you're on social media that you probably should not be charging while you're blasting someone's life out to the entire world because it is, saved and it is forever. So I just kind of think that, to me, that the ethics there are not really good, up there. And if somebody is doing anything that's unethical during one of those social media based readings, that's probably somebody you should avoid. Just being real. If they don't have any ethics in the way they handle their business, like I can tell you, even on some of my lives before, I've had other mediums step in, like trying to get people to go get a reading from them and stuff. That is so unethical. It's just not ethical. I mean, you should be building your own clientele, and you should be letting your abilities speak for themselves. I mean, that is appropriate. I had a friend who was doing free readings and literally had somebody online blocked my friend so my friend couldn't see what they were saying. Hey, Debbie, blocked my friend so they couldn't see that they were what they were saying, and they were in the comments basically saying, if you want something better, contact me. Who are you? Like what evidence can what evidence have you given, right? So be careful, folks. I mean, I always tell people, everybody reads different. Everybody has the ability. It's just who's trained and who hasn't, or who's worked and done it a long time. Like my friend Trini, my work wife. She's not professionally trained. However, she's been doing this for 30 years, at least 30 years of her life. So she's she's really great at what she does. She's wonderful. She's a phenomenal reader. That's why she has such a great business. But again, I always tell people, make sure that you're referred from somebody, make sure that you know the person you're going to, and that they have ethics. Ethics is key. Also, what you say out loud in a group, you have to be careful, because you could hurt someone, and there's other people there. Hey, Dawn, there'll be other people there that could overhear that. So be mindful what you say. And I know I'm very risky with that myself. So sometimes I got to beg for forgiveness, because sometimes things just come out. But a lot of times, when you're stepping into that power, or you're stepping into that energy, when that energy or that spirit takes over you, you talk just like they do. If they cussed in this life, they're going to cuss on the other side. And sometimes you got to jump out of that reality and say, hey, wait, I can't say it like that, So being very ethical. I also recommend that everyone who, if you're doing this type of work, you should have resources, and you should know when to, I'll tell you in a minute, Kathy, you should know when to, use those resources. Like, I have an astrologer on speed dial. I have healers on speed dial. I have a therapist on speed dial. I have religious folks that for somebody needs something to help them with their religious. Hey, Kim, you need to have, if you're doing this type of work, you truly need to have a list of resources, because you shouldn't be so pompous to think you're the only one that's going to help the person who's coming to you. And if you do, then you might, or if you're there just to take their money, those are unethical things. And I like to tell students this all the time when working with them, is always remember that you're going to transition one day, and you're going to meet all these spirits and all these loved ones on the other side. Can you face them? Can you truly say that I was giving what you gave me? Can you truly say that I was giving what you gave me, and the validations were there? I mean, that's why I say your ethics need to be in line. And I'm not saying you can't practice and be wrong. I'm not saying you can't be wrong even if you know what you're doing, but be honest with yourself. If someone doesn't understand what you say, just tell them, sit with that, and then move on. But you have to give them some validations if you want to charge. And so there's people out there who don't do that. So that's my spiel on ethics. So please have them if you decide to take up this line of work in any of the arenas. If you want to be a healer, you want to be a medium, you just want to be psychic, you want to counsel people, work with people, doing it. You need to have ethics, and you should have good counseling skills. How to sit with somebody and have those crucial conversations, and to help them, not to block them, not to hurt them, but to help them, try to get them to see and become the better versions of themselves. If you're in this for any other reason other than trying to help people become a better version of themselves, then you're in the wrong industry, and you should go look for something else or another way to make money. Just saying, because remember, one day you will transition, and if you truly believe in this, you're going to go before these people. You're going to go before the people that you're communicating with. So always remember that, and that will kind of help you stay on cue. That's the first thing I think of. When I'm working, is like, oh Lord, I got to go meet these people. When I cross over, some of these people are wild. So keep that in mind. Okay. So let's talk about clairs. Okay. So clairs, the word clair means clear. And the second part is the sense that it follows. So clairvoyance is clear seeing. Clairaudient is clear hearing, right? Clair olfactory or clairessence is clear smelling. Clairgustive is clear tasting. And clairsentience is clear feeling. And the new one that's the newest one around is claircognizance, which is clear knowing, just knowing. Also know about the clairs that they don't work one at a time. They can be multiple clairs working at the same time because all your senses are working simultaneously every day throughout your day. So when you move into that space or you move into that power and you're connecting, trust all your senses. Yes, some depending how you're cultured and raised will tell you, well, some of your senses may be stronger than others. I'm very clairvoyant and clairsentient. They're my strongest, but I do hear, smell, taste, and know. Claircognizance works in conjunction with a lot of the other clairs. And also remember that when you're working, if you get an answer in your voice, that's your spirit communicating with other spirits. So it is going to sound like you because that's the voice you know. And always remember that unless you're in trance, if you're in cognitive, what I call cognitive mediumship, you may now and then get told something if you can interpret it and you can say it. It may be something you weren't aware of, but they usually use what you know because it's easy to get the message across to you. Spirit world is very smart. They know which clair to hit and what to hit you with to get you to speak something. Once you start developing and working with those, they know those things. And so you just have to first, and the hardest thing is to trust what you're receiving and the way you're receiving it, and then make it make sense. Why am I feeling this right at this moment? And kind of all this happens, although this sounds very dragged out, it kind of all falls in together. Like it all happens at one time. I mean, I get that picture pops in. I immediately start thinking, what is that? I mean, the second I close my eyes, it all is like in a split second. And then I have to interpret it. And sometimes that might take a little longer than a second, but I try to get it out there at least in 3 seconds or so because I'm trying to make sure I got the right picture and I'm getting the right thing. So I'm seeing it clearly because I see in black and white in contrast. And so when I see that, depending on the amount of light in the area, that picture may be very clear, but it may also be very dim. And so I have to catch it. And they come quick. And you get different feels while you're feeling that. So you have to pay attention to that. So, understand those things about the clairs. Again, what are they? I'm just going to go through them. Clairvoyance, clair olfactory, clairgustive, clair auditory or audient, clair sentient, feel, clair cognitive, think. So those are the clairs. So how do we work with clairs? So we're going to work with some tonight as a team, and you're going to even get a little reading out of it. If you participate, you don't participate, you won't get one. So in saying that, so to work with, first of all, what I recommend everybody to do, and I actually taught this weekend in my class, is go take a test to see if you're more right brain, more left brain, or you equal. You can Google it. Those tests are all over the internet. Hey, Sandy. Hey, my love. And hey, Delisa. So anyway, you can get any of those tests on Facebook. Hey, Dina, it comes easier for people who have an equal or about equal left and right brain. If you're more left brain, then you should be doing more things like art, dance, writing, meditation, creativity, working that right brain, sitting in that power, practicing those things. Anything that's crocheting, knitting, block building, anything that lets the imagination roll. That's where that right brain comes from, okay? And if you're more left brain, okay, then you I'm sorry, if you're more left brain, you do that. If you're more right brain, okay, you want to do things like math, accounting, fix that checkbook. You want concrete thought, concrete thing, because that will help decrease your right brain activity. Now, what I have noticed just through my years of teaching and working with probably quite a few hundred students over the years, what I would say to you is if you're very right brain, definitely get into some grounding before you start doing those things, like go stand in some mud, take a mud bath, clean mud, of course. Eat roots. Do things that's going to help ground you, because I find that people who are extremely right brain, their imagination is so over the top that they can't sometimes tell what's real and what's not. Because when you're doing this work, and I see my computer is slowing up a little bit, I apologize. I hope you can hear me. Let me see what it's. Okay. So anyway, can y'all hear me okay? I see my screen is messing up a little bit. Just let me know that y'all can hear me okay. So anyway, when you are very right brain, I know sometimes that you are what I call over the top, and you're so right brain that there's so many thoughts, so many things hitting you that you want to talk about, that it's hard to focus on what you need. Okay? So again, if you're way too right, try some grounding first, and then do like the math problems. Thank you, Susie. Then go ahead and do those math problems, do accounting, do your checkbook or whatever, things that make you think and put things in order. That those are the things that will help you. If you're too right brain, if you have very little left brain, then you want to definitely ground first. If you are extremely left brain and you need to fix your right brain, definitely try sitting in silence for a while and just letting your mind flow, letting it see things. And everybody's a little different. I do the right left brain quiz. I do teach that. Thank you, Kathy. I do teach that in my, as part of the energetics class. But again, energetics is a whole other thing. But again, work on your brain, because your brain is where it all comes from. Okay, and your ability to do it is driven by your brain. So know that. It's very scientific. I tell people all the time, they think this is all woo-woo. It's not. It's very scientific. It follows the laws of science, and it makes sense. It makes sense. One of the questions I got over the weekend, which I thought was a kind of cool question, and I'm going to share that to you while I was in Vegas. Somebody asked me, what's the difference between a ghost and a spirit? Can anybody, especially if you've taken my classes, can anybody tell me what the difference between a ghost and a loved one on the other side? Can anybody tell me? Because I know I'm going to tell you. I'm a cheat. So I had that question asked to me. What is the difference between a ghost and a spirit, someone's loved one that you're working with? Here's the difference. A spirit, well, let me go with the ghost first. A ghost is a residual energy that emanates on this planet. Those are people who do paranormal investigation. They're not dealing with loved ones. They're not dealing with spirits. They're dealing with residual energies that are on this earth. What is a residual energy? How is it created? Well, everybody knows my friend Kathy and I like to go out drinking. So one night, Kathy and I go out drinking, and she gets drunk and drops her pistol that's in her purse, and it goes off, and it shoots me dead. And as I'm going down, I take a glass, because I think she did it on purpose, and knock it over her head, and we both die right there in a bar at KJ's. Let's say it. We had KJ's in that house. Her and I are now dead in KJ's. The energy of the incident stays in the bar. A good psychic could walk in, or even a medium could walk in and sense that energy. Okay? When a psychic is working, they are working through the energy of, a person that's sitting before them. They're tapping into their energy, and then they intuitively will receive sometimes things that are in the future or in the past, or something that's going on in the present. A good psychic should be able to give you at least 2 or 3 future predictions or things they see for you in the future. At least. Okay? Now, a spirit, if I'm reading someone and I'm connecting through a person to talk to their loved one, I'm moving and passing, my energy is moving past and through that psychic field, and I'm tapping into the soul of the person sitting in front of me, and then I reach the soul of that spirit. So when you leave your physical body and you meet your loved ones, that is your soul. That is not a ghost. Ghosts are created from residual energies on this earth plane. And so we're going to talk a lot about the paranormal on this cruise. And we're going to talk a lot about mediumship and using your mediumship to be able to locate things. It's called mapping. And we're going to teach that in more in a more fun way so that some of you can get that. And we're going to teach dowsing while we're there, because when you're mapping, you're dowsing. So we're going to have some really fun dowsing exercises on the cruise. So I'm going to teach you some really, really cool stuff. So again, this is the difference between a ghost and a spirit. So I thought that was a really clever question to ask, and I felt that it is something that a lot of people kind of get confused about. Is this what's the difference between a ghost and a spirit? There's a big difference. So, and again, can somebody be a ghost and a spirit? Absolutely. So let me give you an example. Say I go to Glenda's house, and she said she never knew the difference. And I'm going to do a mediumship reading for Glenda, and I'm in her house, right? As a psychic, I can walk in and sense the energies of her loved ones that have lived. If someone passed in her house, I can go in there and sense that in her home. And that's because of the residual energy residing in her home. Also, remember, Glenda is a spirit. Glenda is a spirit. Thank you, Delise, for putting up the right and left brain test. Thank you. Glenda's a spirit, so her energy's in that house. And I tell people a lot of times that when I go do house cleansings and house blessings, it's usually not to get rid of somebody's ghost or even to connect to a spirit. It's usually to cleanse the energy they put in the house. There's usually some drama going on in the house. That's most of them, not all of them. That's most of them. When you go to cleanse, a lot of time I'm getting rid of their friends that have been over, their residual energies that have been hanging there. That party you had last weekend, and Uncle Tom came over. We got drunk and was trying to put hands all over. Everybody's fighting him off. All that energy stays in your house, So sometimes you got to go in there and just cleanse it out. Say, yeah, I need to clean this room good, So think of that. Think of it in that sense, and that may help you understand the difference between a ghost and a loved one. Okay, that will help you understand. Is this a psychic reading me and that they're feeling their residual energies, or is someone really tapping into the soul? When they tap into the soul, they're able to give you at least one piece of evidence that you didn't know and they didn't know, because you didn't know it, they didn't know it. It had to be the spirit. That's the best evidence. Just because you can sit there when a medium's reading you and go, yes, I get it. Yes, that happened. Yes, that was great. Can't believe you brought that up. That's amazing that you brought that up. But it's something that I knew. So that is good psychic information. It's when you get the no, like, I don't really understand it. Then they go home and say, oh my God, this happened. Or it did happen. I totally didn't know it. Those are the best validations of life on the other side. Just because you see somebody be getting read by a medium, they going, yes, I understand that. Yes, that doesn't mean that they're a medium. It just means that they are connecting It could be. You can't say that it's not either. It just means that they're connecting through the person that they're reading. So always remember that. Yes, I did say that if they cuss here, they'll cuss there. And the reason being is not that they cuss on the other side, Christy. It's because when they want to validate their existence, they want you to know who they are. That's why, and I think I've told you that I got read by John Edwards and Susan North, and they're both very well-known mediums and the best psychics I have ever seen, pretty much. They pulled stuff out of me from my past that was unbelievable. Nobody would have known it. But when it got to the mediumship part, they fell. And again, it doesn't mean that they're not good. It just means that again, I never talk bad about any mediums. There is one that's really a pain in the butt because he's arrogant. But other than that, the rest of them, I really don't talk bad about them. But because it's not appropriate. But being read by them, they were extremely some of the best psychics I've ever met. I mean, I'm sitting there in an audience at a John Edwards event, and he literally says, "Who right here has the old Disney princesses painted on the walls of their bedroom?" And up goes my hand. Yes, I have. Let me explain. I said, "Sir, that's probably me." I said, "In my family bedroom home, which I don't live there anymore, but in my bedroom, my husband painted the old Disney princesses on the wall with a big Disney castle for my nieces." He says, "That's it. Thank you for validating." And he says, "Did your father pass with heart trouble?" And I said, "No, my father's still living." I said, "But his father passed." And then the next words out of his mouth was, "He loves you." "No, he don't." And that's where he lost me. And, people say, well, maybe he's forgiven. I know you forgave him because I know that it doesn't bother you. And maybe he's forgiven you. And I said to them, the forgiveness part is not what's important. The spirit is supposed to show how they were. Hi, Tina. Show how they were in this lifetime that you remember. That's the validation. Yes, have I forgiven my grandfather? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. But did he like me? Absolutely not. There was really only probably one grandchild that he did like, but most of them he did not like, and especially me. I'm the one, and I think y'all heard this in my bedtime stories from Sid, if y'all been watching that series. He's the one that knocked on the door dressed like Casper the Ghost at about 3 or 4 years old and said, "Trick or treat, you old bastard." I got put up to that and ran. He used to tell me to go play on the median on the Airline Highway, and there is none, so I'd get hit by a car. So this is the love we had for one another. So, did he love me? I'm sure he's forgiven me. And yes, I have. There is no animosity between us. Now, what I do know is that the anger this person had wallowed down into some family members and created a lot of trauma in our family. So I do know that. Okay. However, I won't go there. Then I was seeing Susan Northrop, and she couldn't. This is even more wilder than what John Edwards said. She goes, "Who's sitting at this table had a filming of Roy Rogers at their house," and started naming the gifts that we got from the filming. And up goes my hand because she was right. We filmed at my grandfather's house. We filmed a Roy Rogers commercial. We got the coloring book. I got a little badge. I could have been more than 5 or 6 years old when that happened. And so that was a memory that I had, and she got it bam, right in there. That was phenomenal psychic ability. But then she went, same thing. "Oh, your father's here, and he's had a heart attack." I said, "No, not my dad. My dad was still living at the time." I said, "My dad's but his dad." And then she said those famous words, "I can tell you he loves you." I said, "No, that's not him then." That's, again, I didn't, and then they moved on. So I didn't go further with it because they really gave me some incredible psychic validation. They just didn't hit me mediumshiply, with mediumship. And that was really, really, really cool. That, I mean, like, I was floored just by the psychic thing they got. I was like, wow. Like, who would remember? Who would know that? It's like you can't find. I mean, that's even before there was even computers. For at least for that last incident, that was computers weren't even. There was no way that anyone could have figured that out. And I was in an audience both times of greater than 100 people. Well, one had 100 in it, and then the other one, was probably 100, like maybe a little over 100 people. So there's no way they could have looked anything up. So psychically impeccable, credible. Now, my most favorite psychic reading came from Glenn Edwards in England at Arthur Findlay before he passed. And he literally predicted like the next 10 years of my life. Word for word, he told me exactly what was going to happen. And by just doing psychometry, he was holding my watch and he was playing with my watch and he just started talking to me. And I was like, wow. Well, and of course, I couldn't validate a lot because it was mostly future stuff, but everything he told me predicted the center. He told me what was going to happen with the center. He told me about everything about the people coming. He told me everything. He was right. So, again, I wanted to share those with you about being psychic and being a medium and what is a spirit and what is a ghost, and share those things with you. I felt that is really real because a lot of people get them confused. I mean, like even when I go to seance and things go, moving in the room and the spirit comes out and talks to you in your loved one's voice and gives you great validation of life beyond this life. I mean, that is spirit energy. I mean, there's ectoplasm formed in everything. And so that is spirit energy. That's not a ghost. That is not residual energy. So know that. And there's a host for that energy, and that is a physical medium. Physical phenomena is created through physical mediumship. And that's when it's a witness phenomena that everyone can see that what happened. So I wanted to talk about that. And we're going to continue with the clair. So how do we work with clairvoyance? Well, let's not do clairvoyance first. Let's do clairgustive and clairgustive, which is taste, and clairessence or clairolfactory, which is smell. So I tell people, go to a good buffet, go to a wine tasting, go to something, and as you sip things or eat things or put things or smell things when you get in there, or even if you just home walk and you smell an odd fragrance, ask it, what does it remind me of? What does it remind me of? And that's creating and building your language. Is that smell a mother smell, a father smell, a nasty neighbor smell? What is it? What is that taste when you sip that wine? Where does it take you? Does it take you to a memory? Does it take you to something that make you think of someone or think of something? That is how you practice creating your library through your senses with the other side. For clairaudience, what I do a lot of times is I will sit in silence and I will let my ear travel out as far as it can and listen to like a plane. Where I live, there's a lot of planes that fly over it, so I can listen to the planes that keep go till I can't hear them anymore. Or a car go down the street and listen. If you have that bird chirping and they go to fly and they still chirping, how far can you hear that chirp? Work with your ears. Work with stretching that. That'll help your clairaudience. Also, listen to your thoughts sometimes, which is scary, but do it. Listen to your thoughts sometimes, but make sure they're good thoughts. And so these things will help you develop those areas. Now, for clairvoyance. So, people who see with their eyes open, I tell them to practice that. Go, get your nose out of your phones, off your tablet, whatever. You need a few times a day, you need to go outside and look at distance. You have to exercise your eyes to see distance so that you can look past things. You can look past people. When I'm looking to see where I'm going to go mediumistically, I look where the energy builds. If it's on the mother side or the father side, I look to see where the energy is building. What does that energy look like? For when I look at it, it looks like gas fumes, or that when you're pumping gas to that fume, or you see the heat come off, it looks like energy. So when I see it starting to pool around somebody, I know that's where their grief is. And I know that's the tree I need to go down if I'm going to work mediumistically. And so, yes, you can see it even online. Just as you can see a shadow online, If you look at me right way, sometimes you might see an aura while I'm sitting here talking because I'm against a flat wall. You'll see an energy ring around my head every now and then. These are auras, and wherever you see it pull, that's the side that I go down. That's how I read. You might be a little different. I read with my eyes closed. So with my eyes closed, I get pictures and images with the light bending up here through my third eye. And it means stuff. I see pictures. Okay? And then there's class that's feels. So being a nurse, I relate a lot of feels to things that I see in nursing because I'm an empath. So I feel things. I feel people's pain. I feel the emotions. I feel those things. That's why you can't take me to a movie theater because I embarrass you, because I cry at even comedies and documentaries. I can cry. I mean, it's crazy. So I try to stay out of the movie theater if I can. But Magni loves the ghosts. Every now and then I go embarrass him. But anyway, so, these are ways to practice with your class. And I tell people, don't always go see the movies you like. Go watch movies that you don't like out of your norm, because you have to open your library up. So you have to go look at all kinds and see how you feel things and how you understand things and know that. Another thing we do is, like you've seen me do many times before, is symbology. I use these a lot to do readings. I do them with y'all. I usually pull one card, but I can do a Celtic cross and read and talk about your life and see something that might be going on with you. And let the pictures talk to me. Another thing that I tell everyone who gets into my courses, learn to be a good storyteller. And not that you're going to be full of bullshit or you're going to lie, but you have to be able to communicate to people. If you want them to have any value in you, you have to understand how to raise the energy when it dives. You have to understand how to get that connection. And so you have to be a good storyteller. If you're boring, they're going to fall asleep on you. And it's going to be hard for you to work because they're just not, their energy level is going right about a foot in front of them and you're sitting 2 foot from them. But if you get them to laugh, you get them to cry. I don't like making them cry. I like making them laugh. So let that energy go. Let it go. Let it out so that you can connect. Know your audience. Make them laugh, tell them a good story, whatever. But when you're reading, you're creating the story of the spirit. Yes, Tina, you can ask an out-of-the-box question. Hey, Julie. So yes, you can. Yes, you can ask an out-of-the-box question. Then we're going to do some symbology together, and then we're going to wrap up because I got a cruise to prepare for that I'm all excited about. I get to be with my besties for 8 days. I'm excited. We're going to have KJs every night at one of the bars. No, you're not late for the party. Just come on in. We still got about another 15, 20 minutes, so stay with us, Julie. And who's Diana Maldonado? Is she on tonight? You can just put a name. Are you saying hi to somebody? I didn't see that name go up. Have a great time on the cruise. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you so much. I plan on it. We have a great group going. It's going to be so much fun. I wish more of you could come. I could have made it. Yes, you are, Tina, going to be where you're most needed. I know. And hey, look, after it got so close, it got unavailable, so we just have a room to use. Well, so the room that we have that nobody's going to be in, we're going to use it for our... so we have a murder mystery that everybody's doing. Everybody's part of a big murder mystery investigation on the cruise, all the people who's taken the classes. So it's going to be a big scavenger hunt, and it's going to lead to a murder scene, and... it's a big investigation. It's like a whodunit, and we got to figure out who did it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, thank you, Julie. That's good. Thank you. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, I've been asked. I haven't put my application in yet. I've been asked to do another cruise in January. So if y'all want to book that up, I think it's like January 3rd or 4th. I'll get the information once I put my application, it gets accepted, I will post it. But it's a cruise in January, and I believe it's out of Cape Canaveral, maybe. It's in Florida. It goes out of. Thank you, Julie. So, Julie, if you want to see me in person, you have to message me on Messenger because I'm only home a couple of weekends a month, and that's when I see people when I'm home in New Orleans. But other than that, everything else is on the computer, and you can book that anytime. Those are already available for booking. Even I think this Magna already put the ones up for May. Okay, yes, there will be. There is a spiritual cruise. So if y'all want to, it's a spiritual cruise. It is in May. I got the details in my email. I've been asked to put in an application to be a speaker and a teacher, so I'm going to do that. Oh, okay. So if some of y'all want to join us on that cruise, that's fine. There'll be a whole bunch of other speakers other than, there's a whole new set of mediums and psychics all doing, and trance people doing a lot of work on that cruise ship. And I will be putting in an application to be a speaker. And so, and again, with that, I will let y'all know, and y'all welcome to join us. Tina, I'm waiting on your question, love. You said you had a question that was kind of out of the ordinary. But anyway, I'll wait and see if it pops up. So I'm going to get to symbology till I see that. So symbology is the study of symbols. And again, is this helpful? If you are clairvoyant and you see pictures like I do, this is very helpful. Some people use these like tarot cards and do readings for people psychically by doing it. Again, it's the same concept as tarot cards. You lay them out in a formation, and then you tell the story of the person that's sitting before you. And, oh wait, somebody said a psychic is sharing tips on clairvoyance. Ask your question. Yep, a psychic is sharing tips on clairvoyance and mediumship. Ask your question. Oh, that's AI saying what I'm doing over here. I thought that was somebody, like we talked earlier about ethics. Tina said she lost it. Some others may need. Okay, so we're going to work on some symbology. So different ways to do symbology. Symbology is a deck with many, let me give you all this, many symbols. Many colors and symbols. Some people see color. I rarely see color. When I do, it definitely has a lot of meaning, okay? And so some of the games we play with this, or you do with this, is you might take 3 cards, like the chair, and then if you sit in any kind of meditation, or what I call sitting in the power because you're reaching out, ask what does that mean to you. If you would just see a chair, does that mean someone's able to walk? There's no right or wrong answer. It's what it ever means to you. Does this mean someone owned a chair like this? Does this mean someone died in a kitchen? What does it mean? You would say, I think that this person may have passed in the kitchen. Do you understand that? That's the ethical way. Okay? Because we had that conversation tonight. So what does the chair mean? If you turn it upside down, does it mean party for 4? Whatever. You have to think about what that means to you. You could pick any of these. There's 2 hands, and then there's one that is one-handed. What does that mean? Does this mean, there's a hammer, there's crutches, there's a wheelchair. There's 78 symbols and colors. I just saw my aura in this camera, so hope y'all saw that it shot out way towards the wall over here. But no, I'm sorry, to outside the wall, because it wasn't about the light. But anyway, so, if you, play symbology or work with symbology, it helps you, determine. Y'all see me do this a lot. I'll pull a card for y'all and I'll say, what does it mean to me? You can ask a question and turn the card and try to answer it. There's a lot of things that you can do to exercise that sight of intuitive vision, and that is clairvoyance. So this will help you a lot with clairvoyance. If you own a deck of symbology cards and you want a little help with what you can do with them, I do have a YouTube video. So if you go to YouTube and you type in symbology and my name, a video will come up that will tell you a little bit about some things you can do with symbology. Another fun game to play with kids or people is you put one card like this and you don't look at it. You have everybody go around the room and give you one word, but not what's in the picture, to get you to say what's in the picture. That's exercising your brain. So those things are important. You can play all those kind of games with your family, with your grandkids, with your children. So there are things you can do. So that's a little bit about symbology. I think Mystic Resource Center still has some of these. I did order some, but because of tariffs, they had to go up $5, so now they're $25 a deck. I usually give them when I'm doing for somebody when I'm doing a reading, so it's considered a service, so there's no tax on them. I can't charge tax anymore because I do services now. I don't sell things, so I will give these with a reading. If there's like a donation of 25, I give them. So it's like a giving. Because I have them and people want them. So, and again, so I consider it part of the service. Especially if you take my mediumship class or you take one of my classes, you can purchase these as part of the class, like class books, something like that. Anyway, so that's the whole thing. I let the store go, so I let my resale license go. But I do have a bunch of these now, and so I do I usually give them with the class. Like if they pay a little extra for the class, they'll get a deck of cards. Or if you get a reading and you pay a little extra, I'll mail you a deck of cards. And so I'll do it that way as part of the reading. Okay, so let's do some readings with the symbology cards. So if you want me to pull a card for you, you have to ask me a question about tonight's topics, and then I'll pull a card for you. I'm going to make it harder and harder to get a freebie out of me. Ask me any question about mediumship or a psychic. If you want to ask something about psychic, I will do it. The color purple that I just talked to my niece about earlier, was that my husband must love the color purple. I think it is when we met and got together. He was a pressman for K&B drugstore. Oh, I remember K&B. So purple. So again, that's a good memory for you, and that is fine. For me, purple might mean, unless I felt something to do with a business, I probably wouldn't say K&B purple. I might. It just depends where I'm at. I never forget one time I was at a gallery, a big gallery at English Turn, and I kept saying Mr. Bingle, and the lady who passed worked for D.H. Holmes. She worked for the Mr. Bingle store. So I'm like, why am I saying Mr. Bingle? And that's where she worked. I'm like, oh, cool. I got that happens. So since you asked the question, Tina, I will pull you a card. So the card for Tina I got, Tina, you got the rose. So what does the rose mean to me? It usually means like an anniversary or love, or a special heart moment. So that's for me what it normally means. And she says, I'm sorry I missed what you said and I got here late, but do you sell the card? Okay, so what I do, I can't sell them to you because I don't have a resale license anymore. But if you want a deck, you're going to add a tip to your, you're going to tell me you want a deck, and you're going to add a tip of $25 to your reading, and then they'll come with the reading. I'll mail them to you. That's how or if you come to the reading, I can just give them to you. I won't have to mail them to you. But yes, they cost $20. I cannot charge tax because I'm not. I let my resale license go when I sold the store, but I can teach and I can do services. Okay, so the next person asked me a question was Delise, my left brain, right brain score was 58/100. Oh, girl, you need some grounding. You need to walk in some dirt, eat some roots, and then you need to start doing some puzzles. If your right brain's at 100, you need to bring it down a little bit. They need to be balanced for this to come easier to you. So just do some work in that area. And your question for asking me a question about tonight is the gambler, or the royal flush. So I would say it's time to take a chance on something for you. So that was the card I pulled for you. So I would definitely look at something that may be taking a chance for you. And then Belinda Miller says, hi Sid, is the right time in my life to further study astrology? Well, Belinda, I already pulled that one. I got the rose, so that means yes, but I also got the butterfly, which also means I think you should put that under your wings and go. Can I ask Belinda who you're studying with? Because I don't know if you've met Miss Janice, but she's phenomenal. And if you're in New Orleans, she meets every Thursday at a coffee shop on Carrollton Avenue. And she doesn't charge, but she's phenomenal to sit with and just listen to. Zeta, that's on here, can usually hook people up with that. So I would say yes, take it and run with it. You got the butterfly. And then Nicole asks, what is the best way to work with having a strong clairsentience and feeling everything from people, but not knowing anything about what you're feeling? So what I tell people is, to work with your clairsentience, that's feeling, that's your empath mode. So it depends on how empathic you're, but I would say go to movies of all kinds and see how they move you, see how they make you feel. Go to that's going to make you cry, make you laugh, make you feel make you scared. You want to feel, you want to identify every type of emotion there is and not be afraid of it. Because when you do this work, you're going to feel every emotion there is, and you can't be afraid. You have to understand there's a reason that you're feeling it. So understand that, Nicole. And the card I got for you is the bear, which means be strong. Be strong, move slow but steady and focused. So I'm going to say that to you. Oop, I picked up a tree. But anyway. And so... Oh, your right side was 58. You wrote it backwards. I thought you said your left was your left brain was, your right brain was 100, but your left brain was 58. Then if your right brain was 58, then you need to do art, dance, creative things, writing, journaling, anything that creates the brain. Okay, and then Debbie says, do you find the different zodiac signs? Oh, absolutely, they do, and so it depends. So I would say depending what your sign. If you're a water sign, you might use water to ground. If you're an earth sign, you might use earth. So I say pay attention to that. You're welcome, Nicole. And the card for you is going to be, Debbie, is the cross. So that is understanding spirituality, understanding too that there are of other people's spirituality and being focused on it and learning. And in my basic psychic class, I do teach religion. It's actually the first topic we talk about. It covers a bunch of various religions. It's not that you're not trying to change them, but we want you to understand other religions and how they believe, so that if you ever run across a client that has a different religion than you can relate to them. So it's important that you learn about religion. And let's see. Oh, you have to. Okay, and yes, and Denise. Yeah, both of them were at my shop. Denise is at my shop, and Janice. Denise is phenomenal because I've had a reading by her too, but Janice is just old school. She does it really out of the kindness of her heart. You just got to go sit and listen to her, and she can talk for hours and hours, and she'll grab your chart. Literally, when you sit with her through an appointment, you're going to spend minimum 3 hours with her. So, yes, go on your journey. Hi, Sid. What if I'm a little more left brain than right brain? What can I do to balance a bit more? So, again, if you're more left brain, you want to do things like, dance, art, knit, write, draw, anything creative. You want to build that creativity up. And then start telling stories. That's also a good thing. Read a book to the kids. And what I tell people, when you read a book to the kids, don't give them the same endings. Read halfway through, put it down, and make your own ending. So because that is you creating, okay? And that was actually a very good question. And so let's see. I gotta see where I was with that because the thing's moving so quick. So zodiac signs. I'm talking with Denise. Yes. Okay, so this is for Onyx. So Onyx, I pulled the dove for you. The dove, Onyx, and that's a symbol of peace, love, joy, rebirth, cleansing, cleaning. Oh, thank you for the hearts over there on TikTok. Get the hand with the hearts. I love you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, so that was a good question. That was actually a very good question. And then the next one is, I got to do the puzzle piece, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm on TikTok. TikTok makes you prove that you're still alive. Okay, so anyway, Glenda, did I miss your question? I'm sorry, love. The screen is moving fast. Let me see if I can go find it. Don't type. Let me see if I can go locate it. Sometimes I can. Ooh. All right, Glenda says, I never knew the difference. What else does Glenda say? I think I understand now. I'm getting you, Glenda. I'm going through yours. And Glenda then says, Glenda, let me, do I see something else from you after that? I see Belinda. Oh, that's Glenda. Can ghosts or spirits come visit you before you die? Absolutely. Well, girl, what are we doing here? I'm a medium. So yes, they can, Glenda. Yes, they can. They can. And so therefore, I will pull Glenda a card. Glenda, you got the color purple. So K and B, or the color purple, the movie, or color for me, purple usually means, it could mean depression, it could mean lonesome, it could be you like time by yourself, that when things get hectic, you need a few minutes to go rethink it, whatever. Purple is that sign of royalty, that sign of clear knowing. It's also an intuition color. So know that, Glenda. So I got you, baby. I'm sorry. And then thanks. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Yes, I will enjoy the cruise, Belinda. What does the side does the side brain mean? What does the sided brain mean, and how do we know what we are? So earlier, Julie, there's a right and left brain text. If you scroll up in the comment section, if you were here, they did post a direct link to go take the test. You can just Google it and right and left brain, and you want to see what percentage you are. In order to be really easy at getting at this, you want your left and right brain about to be the same numbers. Okay, if one is way higher or lower than the other, then if you want to build that one, you need to get them even. You have to do something. If you're more left brain, you want to do creative things. If you're more right brain, if you're real right brain, you want to do some grounding. Then you want to do some things like balance your checkbook, do some accounting, do some math, work with the kids at doing math. Oh, let's new math. Those are the best ways. And so, Julie, let's see. Let's pick you a card, Julie. Julie gets the rabbit, which means things are getting ready to move a little fast for you, Julie. Know that. And things could come at more than one time, because those rabbits multiply quick. I don't think you have any babies, but I mean by things that are coming in your life are going to come quick. So be sure you think smart and grab at the opportunity while it's there for you. And the next one is... So Celeste says, can you feel someone spiritually and not even be anywhere around that person? Oh, absolutely. Thoughts are energy, folks. So absolutely you can. So, okay, so let me get my friend a card. Let me get Celeste a card. Celeste, you got glasses. So what that means is that I think you have the gift of seeing, or that you're able to see things before they start, or feel things before they come. You have a pair of glasses like me. All right, and then my favorite must have been the purple. Julie, I can help you with understanding the two sides. Yes, so Tina can have that in. Thank you. So anyway, so there we go. Let me see if anybody's on TikTok. They've been giving me lots of love over here, folks. I might get a whole quarter today. They talk a lot about. Okay, I was trying to see if anybody asked any question. I think that's just my loved one friends over there just giving me some love today. I got lots of love today. God, this is the most love I've had in a while. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So anyway, as we wind down, because it's that time. So again, right after the cruise, probably in May, I'm going to go back to doing bedtime stories with Sid. I'm going to pick back up. I just needed to. I had so much going on with the move, with the new job. I love the new job. Things are going really, really well here. So I'm very happy and pleased. So I've gone through a lot of change, and y'all know I'm still in school. And I've tried to sit out another semester, and they conned me into staying another semester. I was trying to stop for a semester and go back, but I'm almost done. I got 4 classes left. 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, I got 4 more classes left. I'm in one of them now, and then when I finish that one, I'll have 3 classes left. So somebody said left, center, right, and trying to find the balance. So so Kat says, why is that certain loved ones can tap into you more than others? because I'm open to it, I'm aware of it. So some people are aware of it. Some people just connect and they don't understand it. So just because you don't think they're tapping into you, they probably are, and you just don't recognize or you're not aware of what. Because sometimes it's very subtle things. Like I think I told, I don't know if I told you all this one, but I think I told the group. I told the group in Las Vegas this. When I was in the hotel in Las Vegas, I bring and you'll see it on the cruise if you come with me. I bring bottles of smart water because it's distilled, and I sleep with a CPAP, so I need to use distilled water, and those big heavy gallon jugs are really hard to bring on to carry. So I usually get some long skinny bottles of smart water, and I will use it because it's distilled water in my CPAP. So I had finished the bottle and I put it in the garbage can, and I turned to do something fun. I'm going to look back. It was on the floor. Now, how it went from laying still in the garbage can up out of the garbage can and onto the floor was beyond me. For some people, they would have just looked at it and said, "Oh, it must have bounced out, or I must have accidentally put it there. I wasn't paying attention." No, I know. I looked at it laying flat in the garbage can, and then I turned around for a brief second, and come back, and it's on the floor. Unless something was in it and threw it out. No. So, you say, "Wait, I was thinking me." Because, Kathy, you're a spiritual being. Loved ones can tap into you. They can tap into you, or sometimes they can't. And it may be because of a wall you've built, or because you're not letting your emotions or your senses get out there, because you may be guarded. There's a lot of reasons for that. And let me pull you a card. Watch me get the wall. No, I got scissors. Which basically says you need to cut that loose, cut that wall down, and so that you have that be okay. That's why I tell you, that's why in energetics I tell you, protect your energy, because in order to do this work, you have to mix and blend your energy with other people and other things. And again, if once you build your spirit team up, you're very protected. Like I have the lady the kind lady that invited me to Las Vegas, and I love her. We've been friends for many, many years. And sometimes she's on here. She's like someone who likes to cleanse constantly. Like her biggest answer is, "I need to cleanse." It's like, you don't want to cleanse, you don't want to sage. I'm like, no. And the reason why is I'm a medium. I have a very strong spirit team who protects me to no end. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I had a guy come see me because he wanted me to rid him of a demon. And so he come to my home. And I think I might have said this to you at one point, but he actually came to my home. And he sat. I was at the head of the table. He was on the side, and he said to me, "I think you should be scared because my demon wants to control you." And I looked over at him and I said, "Question one: do you want to get rid of this demon?" He's like, "Oh no." I said, "Well then, let me tell you like this." I said, "First of all," I said, "I am very protected in my home." I said, "I am so protected. You should be scared. And my people are not going to let your demon touch me at all." I said, "And since you don't want me to get rid of it, get the hell out of my house. Because why are you here? You're telling me you want to talk to me about this demon that's inside of you." Now, while he's talking to me, he literally is growling. You can hear like two separate voices, one inside his gut, one coming out. He probably did have something he picked up probably on a street somewhere, or from doing drugs, because I think he did drugs too. But anyway, so, I tell people, when you come to my house, like Zedek said, yes, the demon was scared. If you've ever been around me, I am well protected. I am well protected. And it's because of my spirituality. Because I don't rush to judge other people. Because I'm very empathetic to people. I want to see people become the best. I look at love. I want to see people become the best versions of themselves. And I will do anything I can within my power, without overextending, help them become that person. And that's what every psychic and every medium should do. They not should be clicking rods for $1 on TikTok to help you. That's not helping you. Because yes, they give you an answer, but how are you going to get there? Show me the path. And that's what I will do for you. When I read, I show you the path. I tell you what's coming. We look at it. We say, how do we get there? If it's something good, how do we get there? How do we avoid when it's not something? How do we protect? You have to know those things if you're going to do this line of work. Okay? So, yeah, there's a lot of people. Some people, most people, when they have a demon, they don't want to let them go. And I'm like, keep it. Just don't come around me. Go ahead, keep your demon. You know, like I tell people, the first question I love to ask people when they say they have a demon, the first question I ask them is, what makes you worthy of having a demon? Of all the people in the world, why did the demon pick you? What benefit you are going to give that demon? I mean, I'm sure you might have, there may be something, but I'm an inquiry mind. I want to know. You know, I want to know. I want to know what makes you think you're worthy of a demon. Why did the demon spend time to want to pick your soul out of all the souls in the world? It's your soul they want. Help me understand that. And you might convince me. Did I think that this guy had something? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was drug induced or whatever, but he had something because he was doing some crazy stuff. Thank you again. I planned to enjoy my cruise, and yes, we're going to be signing off in it. So anyway, we're going to have that conversation again because we're going to actually have a segment on that. But that is true. Again, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. You know, I will not be on next Wednesday because I will be on the cruise, but the following Wednesday I will be on, and I might bring a guest. I'm going to see if my friend from TikTok wants to join me, who's going on the cruise with me. Or maybe we'll get all three of us, all the three teachers online for after the cruise and do some fun stuff. And I said she's wanting to keep demons. Yeah. In that question, I think I missed earlier. Where do you take? If you just Google right and left brain test, it'll come up. Somebody posted it earlier. Y'all might have signed it after they posted it. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll repost it before I go. So that way, if you hadn't got it, let me see if I can find. I've got over 100 messages, so I got to go back and find it. But it's a link, so it should stick out. There it is. Let me see if it'll let me copy it. It says copy current address. Let me see if I'll see if I can put it down here and then paste. Nope, that's not it. So I can't send it. Yeah, it's not letting me. It's testyourself.psychtest.com. It's long. Just go type in on Facebook, on Google, right, left brain test, and it'll be there. I thought it would let me copy the link and resend it, but since it wasn't me, it was the Lise McKay who posted it. But it's a quick Google search. All right, folks. Thank you again for joining me tonight on Touching Eternity, the podcast. I'm your host, Sid Patrick. Thanks for joining. See you in